Hello, back again for something a bit different today. Obviously, I'm usually talking about soul music all the time, but I've been having a bit of a nostalgia trip, going back in time, listening to hip hop, which I used to listen to a lot when I was a teenager. And I've always listened to soul music, but obviously, because of sampling a lot of in hip hop, then I recognised a lot of the soul tunes. I found lots of soul tunes that way. So there it is. So I've decorated the wall a little bit, maybe just temporarily, with some of my hip hop favourites. And I'm going to talk about some of them here as well. And I'm going to show some of the original samples. I've got a few of those as well. Just first up, I wanted to say this is inspired a bit by a new channel that are making vinyl videos that I've seen. The guy's called, I think it's called Martin G. And his channel is called Groove Conversations. Great channel, really nice stuff. He makes very good recommendations. He's usually to be seen going around record shops and record fairs in the south of England, showing what he's found. But he shows some great stuff. A lot of hip hop, lots of funk, soul, rock, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I've really enjoyed watching his videos. So check him out. I'll see if I can put a link to him. Anyway, getting back to the music, hip hop. I love hip hop, and I don't really listen to it anymore though. There's like this abrupt point in about 2005 where I just suddenly stopped listening to hip hop. It didn't really appeal to me anymore, which is a shame because there was lots of great hip hop being made then. But I'm going to show some which definitely were key things for me when I was younger, and I'm really pleased to have them. A lot of these as well, because they're mainly from the 1990s, they're very sought after now, because vinyl from the 1990s, there wasn't that much of it, so it can fetch a bit nowadays. Starting with this classic. This is Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan. This is his second album, and this is the European first vinyl pressing, and fetches a fair amount of money these days. If you want to get rare records, get them when they're new. That's the secret. This came out in 2000, I think. 99, 2000. I think it was 2000. I'm pretty sure. And it's really great. Arguably even better than his first solo album that he did, which is also great. But this is just really takes it up a notch. He's one of those Premier League sort of rappers. I mean, you might not always understand what he's talking about, but the way he says it is profound. Let's just put it that way. Great production on here as well. Great sampling. They've flipped samples from Baby Huey, I know is one. It's a great George Jackson one that gets done on is that Child's Play? Really nice. And one that Wu-Tang actually did on various albums. I think on the Inspector Deck album. Here is on the tune Stay True. There is a bit of Strange Ladies by David Axelrod. I think the tune is called Terry's Tune. Very emblematic. David Axelrod, very famous for his sampleability. And there's a very nice example on this wonderful, wonderful album. Definitely worth checking out.
Shirts over turtlenecks, certified doctors and hoods, and still on your text. But wait, roll cameras, baby face, money blowing like beach nut. Call off the ones, it's me again. Ghost your host this evening. Ladies and gents, I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight.
So it's not for the faint-hearted, that sort of 90s hip-hop sound. Lots of naughty words, lots of quite thought-provoking things. Maybe some things make you feel uncomfortable, whatever. But it's rebel music, and it's not exactly meant to make you feel comfortable. So it's good stuff. Here's another album, Digable Planets. This is their second album, Blowout Cone, came from 1994. I believe there's a repress of this one available. Really, really nice. Their first album's amazing as well, but this one's great. Lots of nice samples as well. I think if my mind remembers correctly, there's a bit of Roy Ayers on this one. We Live in Brooklyn, Baby. But some other great stuff. Makes a very nice soundscape on this, quite jazzy. Really good. Interestingly, this album, the guy, I can't remember his name, is it Tish, something, the main guy from the group, he said when they recorded this, when they mixed this, they deliberately put the vocals quite low in the mix, so that you really have to concentrate to listen to them. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because to be honest, a lot of the time when that happens, I don't really pay much attention to the lyrics anyway, especially if you've got a really good beat like you got on here. But an interesting philosophy. Great album though, I'll give you a taste. And obviously the 90s were known for gangster rap, all sorts of hysteria around that time, and we think of all of those West Coast artists, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, but there was lots of gangster rap going on the East Coast, such as this classic. This is Smith & Wesson, The Shining, another Roy Ayers influence there on the cover. Great album, dark album this. Very, very brooding sounds, this kind of haunted house, kind of evil bass sounds going on and everything. But then some very sweet samples thrown in on here. There's very nice Isaac Hayes samples. Is it Jack Bruce, that jazz sample on Bucktown? Yeah, there's lots of great stuff. And one that perhaps doesn't really match when you've got this very dark, heavy sound here on the tune Hallucination, which samples this beautiful music from Minnie Riperton, particularly Only When I'm Dreaming, that song. Quite a contrast in there, but the sound is there. They make it sound quite demonic in their own way, Smith & Wesson. But yeah, interesting group, a very, very particular sound. See what you think. And I'm going to go now with a record which is very, very sought after. All those ones I've shown are quite sought after. This is Looking on Discos. I think this is the record in my collection which has the highest value, because that is a first pressing of Operation Doomsday by MF Doom. You can see that's on the Fondulum label. There is a second repress which has slightly different labels. There's lots of bootlegs and there's lots of reissues since then. That, as far as I'm aware, from when I bought it and checking the dates and everything, that is a first pressing, which is very nice to have. Certainly probably goes upwards of 3, 4, maybe even more, £100. So yeah, really pleased to have that, but not because it's worth loads, because it's a great album. I remember this was introduced to me by a friend who excitedly sat me down to it and told me how amazing this record was, and is not wrong. Music wise, really great. Has a very good ear, MF Doom, for samples, for making his own beats. Uses lots of a variety of sources. Lots of great for 80s soul samples. And he did the famous Herbs and Spices series, so there's loads of him just doing beats and everything. I mean, he made a lot of releases in the 2000s. I think this came from 1999. Obviously, he'd had quite a rich history before that with KMD, but he went on to do great things. King Ghidra, Victor Vaughan, work with Mad Villain, all that sort of stuff. But this, for me, will always be my MF Doom album of choice, and it's absolutely fantastic. Really pleased to have this. Just as a little sample note, just as I said, he loves his 80s soul samples. There's a killer. The SOS Band, the finest. Really nice. Nice to have that on a 45. But yeah, they cut that one up there, and I will give you a sample of that. But obviously, very hard to get an original of this, but there's loads of other versions of this. If you like that kind of raw, hectic hip-hop sound, it's great. And I can't stress enough what a good MC. Was one of the best rappers ever, and I'm sure you can do a search on YouTube and find people explaining why he's such an amazing rapper. But yeah, just the way it sounds, the it doesn't even matter what he's saying sometimes, it's just the way he says it is fantastic. So that is beautiful stuff.
Hook a broken to his last bucket cash. You love a motherfucker ass, metal feet, empty your car fender. My agenda up in the basement party, tipping the bartender is unbeknownst to you. Who could get body blown? MF like Mike Frank Corleone, and got his soul mighty gone. Like to know what you staring at. An invisible cat who pull off disappearing act. Raised by a pack of wild whistles like sweet back front. I'ma be back. And brothers in the sweet shack, surrounded by a bunch of bad bitches like sweet back. Fuck with me, I'll be back. Like niggas in the streets act.
The danger of me rambling a bit, I'm getting a bit into this because I don't listen to hip hop that often, so it's really nice just to get everything out. Now I think I must have shown this before because this is a great album. Edan, Beauty and the Beat. I think this is his second LP. This is actually a second pressing, not the first pressing, but who cares? It's a great record. And if you like psychedelic music and you don't even like hip hop, I think you'd still like this record because it's amazing. It's a proper psychedelic record. Weird sounds, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Great samples, great songs. He's got charisma and personality on the microphone, Edan, I would say, and he produces all of his own stuff. So I will give you a bit of a taste of Icy Colours, and why not a bit of the Dells, which is the original, where it comes from as well. Very nice.
I'm just too dripping, like rainbows falling out the sky to turn liquid. My word systems turn your scene to tangerine. The kid sees colors flashing wild on his movie screen. How much? I can see the rainbow. I can see the rainbow. Brothers, we're so Someone told me that I burn bridges. I simply use a rapper bones to build my furniture. I work with the aesthetic of the brain medic, cutting up the reels with crystal shards to make a tape edit. I'll take lettuce, onions, tomato, add a dab of mayo plus the fish fillet. Appetizing gray matter with a strange platter. The symmetry of energy, the chemistry of plasma.
And just one more, squeeze it in. Coi Rap. Now, he'd already been quite a big artist in the 80s with DJ Polo. And this album, which I think came out in about 1995, he was considered, it seems strange now, but he was considered quite an old man by then. He was probably in his 30s. But I remember when this came out, he was considered an old school artist. This is an amazing record though, and it's very sought after these days. A lot of places will charge you 3 figures for this. Perhaps not for this one, it's a bit battered, but plays okay. Great songs on here. Actually, were a good duet with a duet. Do you have a rap duet? No, a good tune with Nas, which I've completely forgotten what it's called. Fast Life, I think. And just the whole thing is just that classic New York sound of the mid '90s. Great classic samples, and his flow is just amazing. Again, he's talking like hard luck gangster tales, but just the way it sounds is immense. I will leave you with a bit of For the Brothers, which is a lovely one, with a nice sample from Art Farmer. Hip hop, I love it. I like to get them out every now and again. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I'll probably get back to a bit more soulful stuff next time. But all the best. Hope everybody's well. Till next time. Shorty down.